Welcome to Secrets of Earth. I'm Patrick Viersba, your guide into the world's most remote corners. Today, we encounter a creature that appears to have stepped out of the pages of a prehistoric bestiary, a mammal that has traded fur for armor and speed for a fortress. We are meeting the pangolin. Often called the walking pinecone, the pangolin is one of the most evolutionarily distinct animals on the planet. It is the only animal covered in true scales, a suit of organic chainmail that has protected it for tens of millions of years. 8 species exist, spread across Africa and Asia, from dense rainforests of Equatorial Guinea to the grasslands of Zimbabwe and the tropical forests of Vietnam and Indonesia. They range in size from the tiny black-bellied pangolin, roughly the length of a house cat, to the giant ground pangolin of Central Africa, which can reach 5 feet from snout to tail. All of them share the same extraordinary anatomy. All of them share the same extraordinary vulnerability. Beneath that formidable exterior lies a creature of surprising delicacy, a specialized hunter with no teeth, a tongue longer than its own body, and a defense system so perfectly designed for the wild world that it has become catastrophically ineffective against the human one. Today, we explore the secrets of the scale, looking at the engineering of the world's only armored mammal, and asking how a design refined over tens of millions of years may not be enough to survive the century ahead. The most striking feature of the pangolin is, of course, the scales. They are not made of bone. They are not stone. They are keratin, the same fibrous structural protein found in your fingernails, in a horse's hoof, in the horn of a rhinoceros. But in the pangolin, keratin has been compressed and layered into overlapping plates that cover the animal from the top of its head to the tip of its tail, protecting everything except the soft underbelly and the inner surfaces of the limbs, the surfaces that face inward and aren't exposed to the world when the animal is moving normally. These scales are not superficial ornament. They are structural. In some pangolin species, the scales account for roughly 20% of the animal's total body weight. For a large ground pangolin, that means carrying several kilograms of keratin plate every moment of its life. The plates are layered in an overlapping arrangement that allows them to flex as the animal walks, each plate moving independently of its neighbors, so the overall armor remains supple without creating gaps in the coverage. The edges of the scales are sharp, capable of cutting skin when the animal moves quickly or writhes. When a predator approaches, a lion, a leopard, or a hyena, the pangolin executes what researchers call the roll. Using powerful internal musculature around its spine and abdomen, it tucks its head, brings its hindquarters forward, and curls into a ball so tight and so spherical that it is nearly perfect. The ball's outer surface is a continuous layer of overlapping scales with no soft exposure. When a lion bites it, the edges of the scale flex inward and then spring back, producing a sensation that large carnivores consistently abandon after a brief investigation. The tail, coiled around the outside of the ball, can thrash when disturbed, the sharp scale edges cutting anything that grips too hard. The pangolin does not run. It does not fight. It waits. And for tens of millions of years, the wait has been enough. As a further line of defense, pangolins possess a gland near the base of the tail that can release a pungent chemical secretion, similar in concept to a skunk's spray, which can discourage predators that have managed to maintain their curiosity through the initial scale contact. The combination of physical armor and chemical deterrent has made the pangolin essentially predator-proof in its natural environment. It is an elegant system, and, as we will see, its very elegance is the source of its greatest weakness. If the pangolin's back is built for defense, its front is built for a very specific kind of war. The pangolin is an insectivore with a particular specialization: ants and termites. A single adult ground pangolin may consume as many as 70 million insects in a year. It achieves this without a single tooth in its head. Pangolins have no teeth at all. Their jaws are fused into a narrow, tapered snout designed not for chewing, but for directing the tongue. All food processing happens internally, in a stomach lined with keratinous spikes, essentially an internal cheese grater, along with ingested sand and grit that the pangolin swallows deliberately as it forages. This gizzard-like system grinds the insects into a digestible paste through muscular contractions, in the same way a bird processes seeds without teeth. The tongue is where the real engineering begins. When fully extended, a pangolin's tongue measures up to 40 centimeters, not just longer than the animal's head, but often longer than its head and body combined, excluding the tail. Storing an organ of this length in a body the size of a large house cat presents an obvious anatomical problem. Evolution's solution is remarkable. The tongue does not reside in the mouth at all. The roof of the pangolin's tongue is not attached to the hyoid bone, the standard anchoring point in other mammals, but instead extends deep into the chest cavity, arising from the region of the last pair of ribs and coiling inside a dedicated muscular sheath near the pelvis when fully retracted. It is stored in the chest, housed in its own biological scabbard, and deployed from there with each feeding strike. The tongue is coated in a thick, glandular saliva produced by enlarged salivary glands in the chest cavity, a saliva so viscous and adhesive that researchers have described it as a biological flypaper. When a pangolin inserts its tongue into the narrow galleries of a termite mound, the insects do not need to be grabbed. They stick. The tongue can be retracted and re-extended at remarkable speed, and with each withdrawal, hundreds of insects are swept off by a bony projection at the back of the palate before being swallowed. The pangolin attacks the mound itself with its front claws, massively developed curved structures primarily used for excavation. These claws can breach termite mounds built from sun-baked soil harder than concrete. When feeding, the pangolin closes its nostrils and ears against the defensive soldier insects that swarm in response to the breach, protecting these delicate openings while the tongue works. Its thick eyelids close against biting mandibles. It is sealed against the counterattack while its weapon operates inside. It is a precision feeding machine, and it operates in total darkness. Most pangolin species are strictly nocturnal, emerging only after dark to forage through forests and grasslands in which even the small amount of ambient light from stars or a thin moon provides almost no usable vision. The pangolin's eyes, small, dark, and recessed, offer limited utility in daylight and almost none at night. Eyesight is not, for this animal, a primary sense. What takes its place is the olfactory system, one of the most highly developed scent detection capabilities in the mammalian world. A pangolin navigating its home range is not simply walking, it is reading. Its long, tapered snout moves in slow, deliberate arcs close to the ground, continuously sampling the chemical information laid down by everything that has been here before. The pheromone trails of foraging ants, the distinctive volatile compounds that leak from active termite nests through the surrounding soil, the territorial scent markings of rival pangolins, the spoor of predators. Every step is an act of data collection. The sensitivity of this system is difficult to overstate. A pangolin can detect the chemical signature of an active termite colony through several feet of undisturbed soil, locating a food source it cannot see, cannot hear, and cannot touch until it begins to dig. It can distinguish between pheromone profiles of different termite species, some of which are more defended than others, and adjust its foraging choices accordingly. When it identifies a viable mound, it positions itself, drives its claws into the outer casing, and initiates the tongue sequence. The entire foraging run is conducted in chemical darkness, navigated by an invisible map that the pangolin continuously updates with each stride. It does not see its world. It reads it. For a creature encased in armor and armed with a biological syringe of a tongue, the pangolin turns out to be a surprisingly attentive parent. Most pangolin species give birth to a single offspring, a pango pup, after a gestation of roughly 70 to 140 days, depending on species. At birth, the baby's scales are already present, but soft and pale, flexible enough to not damage the mother during delivery. They begin to harden within a few days, reaching functional rigidity by the end of the first week of its life. Until then, the pup is kept in the security of the burrow. When the mother begins to forage, the pup accompanies her, but it does not walk. It rides. It clings to the base of the mother's tail, its small claws locked into the gaps between her scales, elevated off the ground and sheltered beneath her overlapping armor. She moves through the forest with the pup riding at the base of her tail like cargo in an armored carriage. When she senses danger, the mother does not run with the pup clinging behind her. She performs a specialized variation of the role. She curls herself around the baby, tucking the pup into the unscaled fur of her underbelly before sealing the vault with her tail. She becomes, in that moment, a complete and sealed protective unit around the most vulnerable thing in her world. She will absorb whatever the predator delivers, bites, claws, sustained investigation for as long as necessary, until the threat passes. It is the most complete expression of parental protection in the pangolin's behavioral repertoire. The same armor that defends her now surrounds her offspring. She has made herself into the fortress and placed the future of her lineage at the safest point she can offer. Perhaps the most charming surprise of the pangolin is how it moves through its world. Many pangolin species, particularly the ground pangolin, are habitually bipedal. They walk on their hind legs, using their massive, heavy tails as a counterbalance. Tails that in some species account for more than half of the animal's total body length. The front claws are held tucked against the chest as they walk, curled inward to protect their edges. The result is a gait that looks, to human eyes, deeply improbable. A small armored mammal shuffling upright through the grass, snout lowered, tail extended behind it for balance, moving with a deliberate slowness that suggests complete confidence in its surroundings. In the dark, in the tall grass of a savanna, at a pace that prioritizes scent reading over speed, it looks less like an animal moving through the world and something the world has grown around. The bipedal posture serves a practical purpose beyond the charming optics. It keeps the digging claws elevated and protected from wear during travel. A pangolin that walked on its front claws would blunt the primary tools it uses to breach termite mounds. Walking upright preserves the instrument. But this walk, and everything else about the pangolin's biology, exists now in a context that his evolutionary history could not have anticipated. The pangolin's defensive role, the fortress posture that has protected it against every predator the African and Asian ecosystems have produced over tens of millions of years, is precisely the behavior that makes it catastrophically easy to poach. When a pangolin rolls into a ball, it stops moving. It stays still. It waits. A human poacher does not need to chase, trap, or kill it. They need only pick it up. The pangolin is currently the most trafficked mammal on Earth. All 8 species are listed as threatened or critically endangered on the IUCN Red List. Tens of thousands of pangolins are removed from the wild each year for their scales, which are sought in traditional medicine markets, primarily in China and Vietnam, for claimed therapeutic properties that have no scientific basis, and for their meat. The scales are pure keratin. They have no pharmacological activity. Eating them is, chemically, equivalent to chewing your own fingernails. A defense system that has worked for tens of millions of years cannot adapt to this. The pangolin has no behavioral response to a predator that does not flinch at scales, that does not test the sharpness of the edges, that does not retreat from the chemical deterrent. The only meaningful adaptation that can protect it now has to happen in us. The pangolin reminds us that time is a long game. They are a living bridge to our planet's deep past, a reminder that evolution can produce solutions of extraordinary elegance, and that those solutions can endure across timescales that dwarf anything in human history. They also remind us that elegance is not the same as permanence. A design that works perfectly against every predator evolution has ever built can fail completely against a threat it never encountered in 10 million years of selection. The pangolin is still here. The question of whether it remains here will be decided not by its scales, but by what we choose to do about them. We share this planet with millions of stories, most of them unfolding in the silence of the deep or the shadows of the canopy. Thank you for journeying with me into the world of the pangolin. I'm Patrick Viersba. There are many secrets of Earth, if you only know where to listen. I'll see you on the next horizon. Until then, follow our coordinates by subscribing to or following the show. It ensures you never miss a step into the unknown. There's always more to the story than what fits into a single episode. Before you go today, I wanted to share a few extra details about how these incredible creatures actually live. Here's what else we found. While we often picture them on the ground, several species, like the long-tailed and white-bellied pangolin, are strictly arboreal. They have semi-prehensile tails that can entirely support their body weight, allowing them to hang upside down from branches, like a possum, while stripping bark to find tree ants. Despite looking like armor-plated anteaters or armadillos, genetics show they aren't closely related to them at all. This is a classic example of convergent evolution. Their closest living relatives are actually within the order Carnivora, meaning they share a more recent common ancestor with bears, hyenas, and wolves than they do with an American anteater. Pangolins are incredible earth movers. Their underground burrows can be massive, sometimes deep enough for a standing human to climb into. Because they use their dung to scent mark the walls inside, these burrows become massive underground scent billboards that advertise the residents' age, sex, and reproductive status to any passing neighbors. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you in the next episode.